the brow magic that changes lives. Chiquita Smith gives you the inside scoop on microblading. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes. Welcome to another episode of Creating Your Style with Kathy. And in tonight's episode, I have a special guest, and her name is Chiquita Smith. Chiquita is the owner of Images by Chiquita.
Hey everybody, I'm Chiquita Smith, owner and operator of Images by Chiquita, where we do everything brows, microblading, micro shading, and the combination brow, which is a combination of microblading and micro shading combined together. But today we're just going to focus strictly on microblading. So if you have questions about the other services, feel free to text, email, whatever. But today is strictly about microblading. Well, before I get into what microblading is, I guess I can go into some information about myself. I am Chiquita. And again, like I said, and she said, I'm the owner and operator of Images by Chiquita. I've been doing brows over about 2 years now. And why did I get into brows? Because I'm one of those who, from way back when, I was addicted to the plucking and the razoring, and my brows just didn't grow back. And when they grew back, they were thin, they were sparse, and they just didn't come back. And sometimes it happens, they just don't come back. You can just do too much to the brow where the hair just won't grow back. So I was on Instagram and I saw this girl doing brows or microblading, but I didn't know it was microblading at the time. And she put a before and after of women with no brows, and then all of a sudden they had brows, like it was brow magic. And I didn't know what that was, but I just knew that I wanted that because I didn't have brows. I had a little at the beginning. Well, this I haven't filled in today, but I had a little at the beginning, no arch, tail, nothing. So I was just intrigued by what she was doing. So she posted that she was having classes. And if you know anything about me, which you probably don't, and I'll explain, like my mind works really different. So I'm very impatient. And the way my mind works, if I want something, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to do it. Just like when I bought my house 5 years ago, my crazy mind, I didn't want to wait for a realtor to show me because I wanted to see the houses then. I went and got my real estate license so I can go and see as many houses as I wanted, whenever I wanted. And then I'm like, hey, I might as well make money, buy my own house. So that's the only reason why I got my real estate license. Crazy. Yeah, I know. So back to brows. So she was offering a class and I didn't want to go into business. I had no I had no interest in doing it. I just wanted to do it for me. So when I took the class and I saw like the instant gratification of how it works and what it can be at the end, I was sold. I was sold. So that's how I started microblading. And it has taken off to something that I could not even imagine. So, it's been great. And again, the way my mind works, like I said before, I didn't really trust it. It's crazy, but I didn't trust anybody to do my brows. So I microbladed my own brows. Yeah, I know. I microbladed my own. And I'm telling you, it made a world of difference. Before microblading, I hated the summertime when I would sweat. And you know how you fill them in if you don't have brows, you fill them in with a brow pencil and it sweats and your face is dripping. It's like, oh gosh, like please don't let my stuff melt off in the sun. Or get to the pool. I mean, I can't swim, but I'm laying like, please don't splash me. I don't have that worry now. I can go outside. I can lay down. I can rub them. I can do everything. And knowing that, I still have brows. So that's a little bit about me and how I even got into microblading and how I got started. So what is microblading? Well, technically, what it is, it's a semi-permanent pigment deposited into the top layer of the skin using a handheld tool that gives you the illusion of hair strokes. All it is, I'm taking a tool put some pigment on it, and I just give you the illusion of brows. And it looks just like hair strokes. And that's all it is. It sounds really easy and quick, but it's a lot of things that go into it. But that's just the gist of what microblading is. So the initial visit, you'll come and you'll get a consultation. And after the consultation, we'll map the brow. Mapping the brow is when I draw the brow. So I'll take just like a brow pencil and I'll just draw the brow, measure the brow, because nobody's brows are the same. I mean, heck, neither one of your brows are the same for that matter. But I draw the brow, I measure the brow, and I shape the brow. And once the client and I agree on the shape, then we go into the numbing. So I apply a topical anesthetic, and that stays on for 30 minutes. And after the 30-minute numbing, then we get to blading. So the process is 2 hours, but that's from beginning to the end. Blading is really only 30 minutes. It's not a long time, but I allow 2 hours just in case, we take more time to measure or the numbing or whatever. But I just take 2 hours. Sometimes it takes an hour and a half. Sometimes it takes 2 hours. But let me go back to the mapping the brow, the drawing up the brow. Whether you come to me to get your brows done or not, whoever you go to, make sure that when they're drawing your brow in the beginning with the brow pencil, make sure you're happy with that shape. Because if you're not happy with what they drew in the beginning, you're not going to like it when it's over. So make sure you like the brow and you approve the brow before they even get started, because I've had several clients come in actually and told me that they went somewhere else. The technician never drew the brow for them. They didn't approve it. The client just laid on the table and they went from there. Luckily for some, it turned out good. And unfortunately for others, it didn't. So like I said, whether you come to me or not, make sure, because other than the stroking part, the drawing part is the most important. The most important. So I would advise you not to skip that step with whoever does it. So that's just a little bit about microblading in a nutshell.
Chiquita.
Yes.
Okay. Valerie has a question. Valerie, hi Valerie, how are you? She has a question. Do you actually pierce the skin in this process?
The blade of the tool, it can't go as deep as like if you were to get quote unquote a tattoo, where the tattoo goes into, I don't what is it, 3 layers of the skin or something like that. Microblading, it can't even if I wanted to go that deep into the skin, which I would never want to, I can't even go that deep. So pierce the skin, I go deep enough where I can get the strokes into the skin, where it will break the skin because I have to break the skin in order for the strokes to stay. But piercing the skin, I don't know if that's what you meant, but it goes deep enough where it will stay, because again, I have to break through the top layer of the skin to actually get the strokes in there. So I hope I answered it, I think.
Okay. Terry says, hi Terry. Today is her 10th day from microblading and she loves it.
Hi Terry. Hi. She was so good. Hers turned out perfectly, and I think we have a picture of her somewhere. I'm sure it's going to pop up sometime, but she did so good. So Terry, if you can give like a little, I don't know if you can type in really fast about your aftercare, because after you get your microblading, after the initial visit, you'll come back in 6 weeks for the touch-up. Because during that healing process, and the healing process from the time you get your brows done to 7 days later is a healing process, which means you don't want to get them wet. And it's almost similar to a tattoo as far as, they're going to get dry, they're going to peel, they're going to scab. You don't want to pick them, you don't want to rub them, you don't want to do anything to them. So that's 7 days after you get them done. You don't want to do anything to them, no washing, no anything. And so, like I said, after the initial visit, you'll come back in 6 weeks for the touch up. And after the 6 weeks, I always tell my clients to come back within that 6 to 12 months after the initial, after the touch up, because some people will come back in 6 months after the touch up because that means that their skin is a little oily. And I have some people come back 8 months, 10 months, 12 months. I just ask that people do not come back. There she is. There's a picture of Terry. I just ask that people don't come back after 12 months for, well, they come back before the 12 months because it'll be a lot more work and a lot more fill in if you come back after 12 months. So it's the initial visit, then 6 weeks for the touch up. After touch up, then it's 6 to 12 months. And more closer to 6 months if your skin is oily, if not 8, 10, 12 months. It does last 6 months or longer. I never tell people it's 100% guaranteed it's going to last 18 months. Like I read, like, oh, microblading can last 18 months. I never say that because I don't know, like your lifestyle. Like if you're in the sun a lot, the sun can fade it a little faster, or like you exercise a lot, the sweat, like the salt from the sweat can fade it a little faster. But after the touch up, your brows should last at least 6 to 12 months. That's why I say come back within that 12 months to keep it up. Now, if you never want microblading again, which nobody has ever not come back, but just by chance you don't want to get microblading again, then just don't come back, don't do anything to them, and eventually it'll fade away. But it will last 6 months or longer. So six to 12 months. Some people can last 18 months, but I'm not going to say for sure it will last 18 months, but it may. But it will last longer than 6 months. Yay! And she is a different kind of case because she had tattooing 5 years ago. Tattooing is permanent, whereas microblading is semi-permanent. And usually, I get a lot of requests for people wanting me to do microblading over their tattoo. It takes a long time for a tattoo to fade. Sometimes it never fades. I see people come in, their tattoos are like red, green, purple, like they change colors. So sometimes they don't fade away. They just fade to a different color, which can be like a funky color, and it could be really nasty. So Terry's tattoo had faded so much that she was a good candidate to come and get microblading done over it. There she is again. They look so good. So Terry, I should be seeing you in what, 5 weeks, 4.5 weeks? I, the day 10 wears hard. Oh, I know. I know you wanted to pick the scab. I know you just wanted to pick it off, but I'm so glad you didn't. That is the hard. The 7 to 10 day healing is the hardest. But I tell people, if you can hang in there, I promise, like it will be so worth it. It will be so, so worth it. And the reason why you don't want to pick it, because your body is already going to kick out what it doesn't want because you're putting something foreign up there. So it's going to kick out what it doesn't want anyway. So it's going to keep what it does. So don't help out the process. The process is going to do what it's going to do. So it doesn't need you to help out by picking because you might pick out something that you need and you don't want to risk scarring or infection or anything like that. So just hold on. It'll be okay. So if you have an event coming up, I would suggest you get microblading either 2 weeks before or wait until you come back. Okay, so after the 7 days healing, after your initial visit, after 7 days, your hair is going to grow back. So once you get microblading, that doesn't stop the hair from growing back. It's still going to grow back outside of the outline. So after the 7 days, you can go back to your regular grooming. You can go back to tweezing or threading or waxing. You can go back to doing whatever you want after the 7 days. So, yeah, so you said your brows are bushy and need tweezing every 2 weeks. Yeah, so after the 7 days, you can go back to your regular your regular grooming. What do I do during the healing process? What do you do as far as what? Well, what you don't do, it's more what you don't do than what you do do. So, you don't get them wet at all. So like when you take a shower, yeah, like the water is going to run on there, but you just don't stand under the spout and just let the water run down. So you don't want to stand under there and submerge them in water. You don't want to pick them. You don't want to scratch them. You don't want to rub it. Um, you know how they say like girls when their hair itch, they don't want to like scratch it. They do like that. So if your brows itch, you might have to do your brows just to get some kind of relief a little bit, but don't scratch. Or if you want to take some ice cubes and put it in like a sandwich bag or something and put a towel on top of it, put it on your face, just any kind of relief. You just don't want to manipulate it in any kind of way. So it's more don'ts than do's during the healing process. Hard not to pick. Oh, Terry, I know. It was really hard not to pick. I know when I had mine, it was so ugly. It was so ugly. I just wanted to just snatch them off, but I'm glad I didn't. But I'm glad you stuck with it and didn't pick. And it's so funny because when people come back for their 6 weeks, they'll tell me, oh, I did everything right and I don't know what happened. I've been doing this long enough that I kind of know what happened and what you did and what you didn't do. So I can kind of tell. And if you tell me you did everything right, we're in a room together for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Eventually, sometime during that time, you're going to tell me what you did and what you didn't do. So I already know. So, but most people who come in, they do fine. They do fine. And then I give you, once you leave, I'll give you aftercare instructions. I'll give you like diagrams. I'm very visual. So I'll give you like emojis, like what's going to happen from day 1 to day 40. And pretty much it's like right on the money. So what it says it's going to do, that's exactly what it's going to do. So, and then I give you like some ointment to put on there. And I give you like 2 packs, but you will only need like half of 1 pack. So, but you'll leave knowing exactly what to do and what not to do.
Chiquita, I know that you've done some things for different stars.
So back, I've had a lot of jobs. Let me put it that way. But one job that I've had was a makeup artist. Like before I even knew that I even liked beauty or whatever, like I've always done beauty, whether it's fashion, makeup, hair, whatever. So I was granted an opportunity, maybe 8 years ago. She reached out to me on Twitter. Somebody gave her my information. First of all, I didn't even know I had a Twitter account. Second, I didn't even know how to use Twitter, and I still don't. But somebody gave her my information, and she reached out to me, and her name is Asia. And I don't know if you know her. Some of you may or may not, but she's with the Neo Soul group called Kindred the Family Soul. So I've been working with them for like 8 years now. So I would do both her and her husband, and sometimes I would just do her. But I've done many faces, but she's probably somebody you may or may not know. So microblading, it's not an age thing. Well, let me take that back. It is an age thing. You have to be 18 and over. So you could be 18. As long as you're 18, that's fine. And it's not just for women. It's for men as well. I've had men come in who have had alopecia that wants it done, or I've had men who, their brows are like women in some parts too. Like theirs grow, but some parts are patchy, and you know the mapping, the drawing is a little different for men, but the process is still the same. So it's not a woman thing, it's a people thing. If you have like diabetes, or if you have cancer or on chemo, well, let's start there, cancer or chemo. Before you start chemo, 2 weeks before, you can get microblading. But during chemo, no. And after chemo, you can, as long as your doctor approves that and you bring that to me, you can. But of course, like HIV, no. Diabetes, no. Because I am, like I said, I'm breaking the skin, and there is sometimes blood involved, and with different illnesses and diseases, it's not safe. So, oh, if you're pregnant, no. Breastfeeding, yes. Pregnant, no. I believe that. Oh, if you have keloid skin, no, no. I had a client that told me that she has keloid skin, but she really, really wanted it done. So, in cases like that, because I looked at her and she didn't look like she had keloids, but because she told me that, we did a patch test. And so a patch test is I'll like do a little cut behind your ear, and you will wait 7 days. So in that 7 days, if it doesn't like bump up or you don't have some kind of reaction, then it's okay. But if you see some kind of reaction, then no. So that's why I patch test you behind the ear, just in case you do have a reaction. It won't be that noticeable. Whereas if I did a patch test on your eye and you have a reaction, then people would see it. Will your brows be red and swollen? They might be red and swollen that day. After that day, no. Um, will it make you look weird? Uh, Probably when the scabbing starts happening. I'm not even gonna say weird, because you're not gonna look weird, and I don't want to like discourage anybody like, oh, it's gonna look horrible, it's gonna, because it's not. But you'll notice like, okay, you'll see some peeling, you'll see it scabbing a little bit. um so I always tell people, if you could come like a Thursday, then you'll have like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So at least you'll have the weekend. But if not, you can come Friday, Saturday, I mean, whenever. But cl- closer to the end of the week may be good, even if like a Wednesday. So, you won't have that long to go to work with your brows scabbed or peeling. Terry wasn't that ugly. But see, you still went out amongst people. So you didn't scare anybody. See, exactly, right. So that's why I said I give you 2 packs, but you wouldn't even, maybe half of one. So yeah, that's good, because you only use a tiny bit on there. You're not even using a lot. So the two that I give you is more than enough. And oh, no one else noticed the peeling. So I mean, yeah. So like I said, it's not horrible, but because it's on your face and you're looking at it, you might think, oh, but unless somebody's really on you, they might not even notice. So weird? No, you won't look weird. No.
Great, great conversation. Now, I know you mentioned that age is one of the things. Certain illnesses, you cannot do someone with certain illnesses and certain types, but you do all skin types, correct?
Yes. All skin types, it doesn't matter. We match the color during our consultation, and we go from there. So skin types is not a problem. Oh, Jackie's another one. Jackie, how does your brows look? Oh, so you still have a package of the ointment left? See, yeah, you don't even use a lot. I appreciate all of you guys. Like, you all come in as clients, but you leave as friends and family. Like, we're in this room together for 2 hours. So, you know probably more about me, and I probably know more about you than most people. Ah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yay, Jackie. Yeah, yours were bomb. So bomb. And so she's already done with her touch up. Jackie's already done. So now she can just live her best life with her brows and come back for a touch up when it's time.
I really appreciate Chiquita. You guys, you may not, some of you may or may not know, but Chiquita is my daughter. So it's easy to do like the test market with my daughter. One of the things that you do is you
Mhm.
also teach classes with this,
I do.
correct? Okay.
So I do teach microblading. It's a 2-day class. I know it doesn't sound like long. I know you may think like, "Oh, how am I going to learn this in 2 days?" Trust me. I went through this, over 2 years ago, and it was 2 days, and I thought the same thing. When I teach, I give you everything that I have, everything. Like, I'll say like the class is maybe 5 or 6 hours. Sometimes I'm there 8, 10, 12 hours because I want you to get it. I want you to get it. So it's a 2-day class. Usually it's a Sunday, Monday, and that's the group classes. But I also teach private one-on-one classes. It comes with the kit, tons of practice, uh, a live model. I do a live demonstration. I mean, you get everything. Everything that I have, you get because at the end of the day, you're on somebody's face. And, when they come in, you know, beauty is for a woman, the outside, that's everything. And if they're coming to you for a service, they already feel some type of way. So just to know that you hold that kind of power over somebody, I don't take that lightly and I don't play with that. So in class, like I give you, I mean, everything. We're going to stay until you get it. And even after class is over, like they have my personal number, they have everything. I've even driven to where my students are just to make sure like they do it right. Or, I'll have them, they'll come into my suite and ask if I can watch them, do their client. I don't mind that either. I want everybody to be great. Everybody should win, So, um, do you, Jackie? That's awesome. I mean, they look good. I mean, and that's how they should look. When somebody looks at you and they shouldn't think like, what's wrong with your face? What they should think like, oh wow, you just got your brows done. You just got them waxed or something. I mean, that's how natural they should look. That's how natural they should look. Anytime you're spending your money, whether it's $5 or however many dollars, it's an investment. But what I can say about microblading, no, it's not quote unquote cheap, but the money that you spend getting them tinted every 2 or 3 weeks or buying all the Wonder Brow or whatever is on QVC late at night when you're watching TV or all this Miracle Grow stuff, all that money that you've spent doing that and it's not working, microblading works. That I do know. And like I said, whether you come to me or not, you don't have to come to me. But all that money spent on other stuff, you could just get microblading. Come on to the other side. It's great over here. It's great over here. You will not regret it. Okay, Priscilla, when you're ready, just let me know. My phone number is area code 630-697-6383. 630-697-6383. On Facebook, it's www.facebook.com/images. Is it? I believe that's what it is. Images Chiquita. And then on Instagram, it's Images by Chiquita. And my office is located in Maryville, Indiana. So before you say boo, like you're too far, it's not that far. I'm not far. I'm not far at all from Illinois. And then most of my clients come from Illinois. So I'm not that far. So I'm in Maryville, Indiana. Oh, my website is www.imagesbychiquita.org. Imagesbychiquita.org. Once you do facebook.com, then you /images Chiquita. So just Images Chiquita. So do me a favor. Can you go on my page? Can you follow me? Can you like it? I post all the time. So, I keep you updated on everything. So, and share it. Tell everybody. So thank you.
All right. So I'm just going to pop this on screen real quick. Facebook.com, Images Chiquita. Her phone number, 630-697-6383. If you don't catch her, definitely leave a message. She will get back with you. Okay. All right. So
Be sure to like my Facebook page. Be sure.
As well as her Instagram. So she's on Instagram, Facebook, and definitely check out her website. So everybody, we just want to say thank you again. And be sure to also follow me as well, Creating Your Style with Kathy. So until next time, bye everybody. Bye Chiquita. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes.